Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. In our first story, entitled parents starve their toddlers for phones. Let's jump right in. I work at a big-name wireless carrier and have plenty of entitled people stories, but this one was just horrible to watch. This was a few months ago. A family of 5 walk in, so I go to greet and help them. There was a grandma with her son in his mid-20s, his girlfriend or wife, and their 2 small children. So we have grandma, entitled mother, entitled father, and small child 1 and 2. The purpose of their visit was to upgrade the grandma's iPhone 8. She didn't speak English, and I did not know her language, and all my coworkers who did were busy. So I communicated with the entitled mother and the entitled father, but also tried my best to use Google Translate to talk with grandma. The actual whole account was under the grandma's name. The 2 parents were on her account. For those who don't know, if you're under someone's wireless account, all your actions fall on them. If a phone that you financed goes unpaid, the collections go to the account holder. They technically own your phone number even if you pay for it, so all responsibilities fall on them. Depending on the account holder's credit, you can only put 0 down on so many phones. Most accounts have a limit of like $5,000 financing. Anyway, I go over options with grandma for financing a new iPhone 12, even had a trade-in deal to make it cheaper for her, but we had one problem. The bill was in delinquency, and our system will not let us finance out new devices if it is, so the entitled mother and the entitled father get involved. They ask why their bill is so high, so I go over the PDF with them, and 80% of the bill was from the entitled mother and the entitled father. They both had a Samsung S10 Plus financed out with insurance, and both had 3 plus accessories, cases, screen protectors, speakers, and wireless earbuds, etc. So that was an easy extra $200 a month just for the couple's stuff. They talk to the grandma, she pulls out her credit card, and they force her to pay the delinquent bill. But wait, the entitled mother spots the new, at the time, Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, $1,300 phone, $1,450 after taxes and fees. Suddenly, they forget grandma's upgrade and start talking to me about financing options for this phone for both parents. I remind them that their S20 Pluses are still being paid off, so if they upgraded to the new Note, they would be paying over an extra $100 a month for 2. Also, because their financing limit will be reached, grandma will have to wait a long time to finance a phone for her on her own account. Grandma, entitled mother, and entitled father all have a conversation between themselves for a few minutes, and I give them some privacy to talk. Entitled mother and entitled father approach me and say they're not upgrading grandma's phone today, but they both want the Note 20 Ultra today. I get my coworker who speaks their language to talk to grandma to confirm that she's okay with this. She was, so I go over the cost of financing them. Again, reminding them the phones they bought last year were not paid off yet, so they can expect a large bill increase. Poor grandma. They don't care, and I proceed. I bring the phones out and start to ring them up, but because the financing credit was pretty much maxed out at this point, one phone would need a $300 down payment plus take today, so the total would be like $450. They say, "Hey, can you give us just a minute?" So I do. The entitled mother called kid number 1's soccer club and canceled her classes for the next month to help cover this, then makes calls to some other family members, and at this point I give them privacy. They then signal me over for a question, so I stick around. I overhear entitled mother to entitled father saying that for the remaining $200 they need, they can simply skip the kids' breakfast for a week or 2 and make plain pasta for dinner every night for the next few weeks. The entitled father agrees and says the kids are fine eating plain pasta every day for a few weeks. At this point, they take a notebook from grandma and ask for a few more moments and start writing a bunch of numbers down. I try not to overhear, but they even say how they're gonna cut back on the kids' juice and snacks for a while. I tell them that I can hold the phones for them if they want to do it next weekend. They decline, saying they really want them now. At this point, my manager gets involved and has me ring everything out, and it's said and done. Then they all leave the store, and I just feel so bad for those 2 toddlers and grandma. A couple edits. First, yes, I tried to stop the sale. After I did, they complained to my manager about me, saying it was none of my business. In my state, you can get sued for that, so my manager said I had to. Second edit, yes, I do still have their account and phone numbers, and I will tip Child Protective Services about them. That's something management can't stop me from doing. Story number 2, entitled Dad Won't Leave the McDonald's drive-thru lane. I just started working night shift at McDonald's, and we get our fair share of entitled parents and weirdos in the early hours of the morning. In this one particular case, it was 3 a.m., and at 3 a.m. we moved to cash only for an hour so we can collect and count all the debit and credit transactions. This means our whole ordering system is down and we have to write down all the orders on paper and do cash calculations by hand. Anyway, entitled Dad comes up and tries to order food and agrees to do cash only. When he comes up to the second window to pay, he keeps on trying to give us a promotional code to get a free Happy Meal, but we tell him we cannot take codes right now because our system is turned off. I try to explain to him for like 3 minutes that we cannot take his code and that he would have to pay cash for the food. This drunk guy in the passenger seat kept on asking if he could just come back and pay for it later. Then he asked if we take Venmo. The entitled dad persists and will not take no for an answer, so I call my manager over and the man argues with her for 5 minutes. She probably stated that our system is down more than 30 times, but he kept on insisting that we give him the free Happy Meal. Eventually, my manager told him to leave and that we cannot serve him anymore because he was holding up the line. He said he wouldn't leave until we scanned his code. Then, when my manager said he needed to leave again, he rolled up his window. He sat there in his car with the window rolled up with his poor kid in the back for another 5 minutes. At that point, my manager said she was calling the cops and showed her phone dialed to the non-emergency line. He sat there for a moment longer and then he screamed as he was driving away, "I'm going to screw you tomorrow! You watch out, lady!" This is my first week at McDonald's, and it's pretty interesting so far. I've seen some weird people. Story number 3, entitled Mother Wants Her Underage Kid to Be Allowed to Drink. Boy, howdy, do I have some entitled parent stories from when I worked in upscale restaurants. Diners, parents behave, kids behave, or try to behave with their parents encouraging good behavior. Kids get a pass for the odd poor manner here and there, but the bougier the restaurant, the more entitled the parents get. So here I am, fancy Italian restaurant. I go up to the table, I introduce myself, and I ask if I can start them with some drinks. "Oh, honey, show the lady your ID so we can get some cocktails." A young man who I would not guess is older than 16 hands me the most blatantly fake ID I've ever seen. Like, I don't know who this thing would fool. The photo was crooked and clearly pasted on. It peeled off when I ran my thumb over it to reveal a totally different person, and the name on the ID was Amanda, so it's a very, very bad fake. "I'm sorry, but do you have another form of ID? This isn't yours." "What do you mean that isn't his? That is his ID." "Well, I don't think he's a black female named Amanda, so no, this is not his ID, and I can't serve anyone at the table alcohol now. It's the law." This happened in a US state where we have really strict alcohol laws. If one person in the group attempted to obtain alcohol via duplicitous means, such as a fake ID, I couldn't serve anyone alcohol. My manager has overheard some of this and comes over. "Is there a problem?" "She won't serve my son alcohol even though he showed her ID." At this, I handed my manager the fake ID. Ma'am, this is a clearly fake ID. By law, we can't serve anyone at this table alcohol. She lost her crap, jumped up, held a fork like she wanted to stab someone with it, and demanded to speak to the owner. The owner has already overheard the whole thing, comes over and informs this woman that no, we will not serve them alcohol, and she can now leave either via their own legs or the cops because we weren't serving them food either. The entitled mother and company do decide we're serious and storm out, making a scene, ranting the whole way out the door. Other guests are staring and then go back to their food with a bout of uncomfortable giggles. I have so many other stories from this restaurant. This isn't even the worst one. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. And make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.